How we doing? So, kind of an interesting morning. I don't think there's a ton of things that I love right now. Something notable to keep in mind is we do have Netflix earnings today. Let me see here. Thursday, yeah. So really not much news coming out the rest of the week. We had jobless claims this morning at 8:30 Eastern. We got some natural gas stuff coming out at 10:30 Eastern, but other than that, nothing too special today. Earnings wise, Netflix is probably like the biggest name. There's really no other like massive big tech names going on today. Just no stocks that I really love watching. But we got some interesting setups. So a trade that I don't typically take, but I think the risk reward looks good on it. That's the only reason why I'd consider it. Is going to be Meta here. So we hit a high of call it 545 up in here. Roughly 5, 7, 10 days ago. Okay, and we're now 80 points down. We've bounced up to about 470, so call it 50 points, but still. Actually, shoot, it's more than that. 45 brings us to 500. And then, yeah, so, 80, 70 points. Huge drop, right? So, it's very simple. My only thought process here is maybe buying some next week 500 calls, super, super small size, just kind of throw something at this. It does have earnings coming up here next week. Sorry, not next week, at the end of the month. No hot mic there. So that's kind of my only trade there. I kind of want to see this like maybe come in like 470 again. Super cheap, 500 calls. I think they're like $200 or something. So again, it's very simple. That's kind of all I'm looking for. Stop loss would be 460. Pretty much like okay with losing half, 50% loss on that ish. And I'll be in, like I said, super, super small size. So y'all can do that if you'd like. Not really in the sort of A+ setup. I just think, we're risking 10 points, and we could see 25, 30 points on this. All it takes is one nice day here and we're up at 490. Maybe we just take profits there. You know what I mean? Not something I'm trying to hold for like multiple days. I'm just buying. I'd buy next week's just to give us a little bit of time. So the only other thing that I'm watching today is going to be Tesla. I think this is kind of setting up here for, earnings are coming up. So, maybe things go flat up into earnings because a lot of things have already gone on a big run. Or maybe we see a little bit of movement here ahead of the earnings. So Tesla's earnings are July 23rd. So those are going to be in 5 days. So that's going to be next week. So do I want to look for a massive trade on this? No, but I do think that if there is some sort of earnings run up or sell off through 245 here, which is the last 2 days, you can see here is the low from the last 2 days, right? We hit like 46, 45, 80, and then 46.20. So through 246 and then 245, that's kind of where you can get a move to 240. And then on the other side of things, you have this downtrend here from this this high from that massive run, 271. You can see we've hit it here, we've hit it here. We're kind of coming back up into this area. Tesla is up decently here, pre-market. So if we get a move up to like 255, I wouldn't be looking to get in a position there, but we start breaking through here with some volume. That's all I'm looking for. And then I can trade, 258, 259, these highs from the last 2 days. Okay, see that high here and high here, right at like 258.80, 258.50. Played that high through 260, and maybe that can send us to 270, but I'm not looking for that. I would just kind of look for a couple dollar move there, get out, and then maybe we can trade it again. So again, not looking for anything crazy on this, but I do like this, honestly, either way. So it's just going to depend on, okay, is Tesla stronger than the market? Is the market strong? Is Tesla flat and the market's pushing. So if the market rolls over, maybe this is one of the weaker ones here and we could trade it to the downside. All it is today is going to be gauging Tesla. Other than that, maybe going to buy some meta swings here, 500 calls for next week. And that's about it. UNH was a great trade yesterday. I don't know if anyone took it. I know Chris did. Something I've never traded before, but it was amazing. I just bought it off the open and, it moved 10 points. Contracts went from like $2.50 to I think they hit a high of 14. So, Chris, me too. I only bought like 2. That was it. I just kind of wanted to take a stab at this, and the next, kind of looking to create a position. And the next thing I know, we've moved $5 in like 10 seconds. So it was just over. But kind of cool, right? I may never trade this again. I don't know, but it just kept going. I'm not looking to catch a new high here, I don't think. I mean, if it wants to show actual strength with some volume, sure, maybe I trade it. But I think we should just kind of take our money and run. No, someone talked about UNH on a live stream on my Tuesday lesson. I forgot who it was, but they brought the ticker to me and I looked at it and I was like, shoot, this looks pretty good. Not something I've ever traded, like I said before, but technical wise, it looks great. And took the trade, paid off. So sometimes that happens. I was looking at FedEx as well. That ended up falling back. I'd still consider that around 320, but down here at 310, don't really care about it. Shopify, I wanted that yesterday at 70, and it did nothing but sell off. Paige, so she's asking what entry am I looking at for Meta? I can never. I'm not going to be able to find a perfect entry on the swing, right? So, could I wait for a pullback? Sure. Ideally we could buy around 570, just because it's 470, just because it's it's bounced a little bit here. Almost 10 points coming into the open here. So ideally we see some sort of pullback to buy into, but again, this is a swing trade, right? I'm not looking to like get a really fancy entry and exit on this. I'm just trying to buy good prices down here, 470, in between 470 and 460, and looking for a move, maybe 485, 490, 500. So again, you're not going to get a perfect entry, but I'm looking risk to reward here, right? I'm kind of risking like $10 here on this, and I'm looking to make 30. So 1 to 3, I'd take that every time. I think this does have a chance. I mean, it is already up about $10 here, pre-market. So yes, ideally we can see a move kind of down to like 470 area, but looking for $30. I'm not going to be, I'm not going to be a stickler about 1 or 2 points here, and I'm looking for that big of a move. So I do have the 500 calls for next week loaded up. It's not really like a signal, but I can tell you guys like, hey, I'm going to start a position on that here. Maybe add if it falls down some more. Other than that, though, like I said, just going to be gauging Tesla here, watching what that does this morning, and that's it. So you guys got anything else for me? PayPal, let's look. Yeah, I mean, just kind of retesting these lows here. It looks like this could roll right back over. Either you start entering here, or maybe you kind of like, there's not a beautiful uptrend here, but you can kind of see this. So this breaks. So I'm looking on a daily chart right now. Look what Tesla did yesterday. I caught a little bit of this, but you can see the same kind of pattern happening on a 1-minute chart, right? You kind of get your I thought this was going to roll right over. It just kind of slowly came up here. Look at the volume, real low, real low, real low. Once we broke that uptrend, just kind of like I was talking about on PayPal, same principle here. Ethan, when you say loaded up, are you just doing buy to open? So okay, that's good. New people tend to get this confused. When I say I'm loading something up, it doesn't mean I'm buying. That means I'm like loading the contract up ready. So like right when I'm loading a gun, I'm not shooting it. I'm just loading something up. And then I'll say like I'm in these, or I'm buying some here, I'm taking a starter. That's when I'm calling out that I'm getting into a position. Visa earnings, not really something I'm going to be watching. I mean, I think banks did like okay. They didn't really do anything crazy. So I mean, this is just kind of I can't really give you direction on that, unfortunately. Um, Whoever asked that, I missed that. Siphons. I haven't been any research, and I don't want to persuade you to trade it any sort of way here. On X, Nvidia, yeah, I mean Nvidia's down a lot. I mean, I think this could be also maybe a possible swing trade to the upside. I just don't know. A lot of money's been kind of rotating out of these names. So, do I really want to buy like 2 weeks out calls on Nvidia? I mean, like maybe that'll work down in here, but I also could see this easily rolling back over down to 115. So Netflix is shooting up. Yeah, I mean they have earnings today, so I don't see any specific news on this. I mean, I wouldn't trade it today regardless. If this was up near 700, I'd be looking at it. But with earnings today, contracts are going to be even worse than they typically are. So I'm just going to stay away from that. But got about a minute and a half here, guys. Any other tickers or anything you want me to look at? Again, just going to be watching Tesla here. We're kind of in the middle of a range. So we're, $6 away from 245, and we're about $9 away from 260. So nothing off the open. Probably just going to be watching Meta here, seeing if I can get this to dip down around 470. Maybe buy some next week 500 calls. That's about it. Any news on Siri? I'm going to pull it up on a side chart here. $3 stock. Unfortunately, True Blue. It's not something that I typically look at. I don't see any news. Stock really hasn't gone anywhere. I mean, we're down like 5 cents here pre-market, so I don't see anything today. But again, really just kind of not something that I tend to watch. So here we go, guys. We got about 45 seconds here. All right. Let's see. Meta opening 475. These next week 500 calls are about 360. Not terrible. It's not dipping much here pre-market here. Market is selling off. I'm probably just going to try to get some here at maybe like 350. I think that's not a bad spot to start. Well, I can't get filled. Okay, that's weird. All right. Go ahead and start that position there. Again, in super small, just taking a beginner position here. Not looking for anything crazy today. If this takes a big dip down to 465, maybe I'll buy some more. But other than that, just going to start with that here. Apple selling off here. Tesla trying to push a little bit. I'm looking at the 500 calls for next week, JWAG. Meta is showing a little bit of strength here as the market's selling off. That's good. Already up 3% on the day, though. So I don't want to get too antsy here and be buying too much too early. Again, I may add some more if this comes lower. If not, I'll just keep this price. I'm not looking to be a stickler about 1 or 2 points on this. Market is still selling off. What else is going on? Tesla sold right off here under 250, so maybe we get downside today. What else is going on? UNH up a little bit, not too crazy. FedEx up a little bit, not too crazy. Take Meta at your own risk, guys. I mean, if you can't handle a starter position on this because the $350 a contract, and don't trade it. I could lose 100% on this, and it's not going to affect me. So if you can't do that, then just stay away from it. Coming into 470 though, it's kind of nice. Contracts 280, 300. If we can get under 470, I may buy it one more, but I'm not looking for a whole lot here. I mean, if you look at the money contracts, they're $1,100. So even if we can get halfway up there to $500-600, it's 100% gain. I'll take it and move on. Pretty simple. What else is going on here? Tesla's sitting right at 250 here. Not really a whole lot. Market's still selling off. I suspect this to be a pretty slow day, guys. So we'll see what happens. Meta just kind of sitting here right above 470. Looks like it may be creating a base. We will see. Again, it is up 10 points here pre-market, so I wouldn't be surprised if it does come a little bit lower. But looking at this on like the yearly chart, I think you can see why I'm doing this here. We came back into this range from massive 80-point move here. So buying anywhere in this area to me is good. Looking for up in here, stop loss down here. Pretty self-explanatory there. Starting to sell off some more. Under 470, I may add to that, but that's about it. But be sized accordingly to what you want to do. NVIDIA 121, Tesla back to 252. Here we go. Meta really selling off here. So maybe if this comes a little bit lower, I'd be okay with buying some more. Back into 470. I kind of like that. Contracts 275. They moved quite a bit. It was a $5 move though on this. Like to see this start bouncing here somewhat soon. I want to see a strong day out of this, but maybe we're just maybe one day early. I don't know. We'll see contracts back to about 290. Could add here, but again, I'm planning to hold this for a day or two. Tesla back to 253 here. Pretty big bounce on that. Looks like Meta's starting to really bounce. Percentage-wise, these Meta contracts are moving. So again, be small sized here. So this isn't really affecting you much. I mean, that was a $3.50 move right there on Meta. It's pretty big. Meta typically doesn't move that crazy. Market had one little green candle here, and Meta made up half of that sell-off. So to me, that shows some strength. Ideally, this gets moving today up to 480. 475 is going to be a pretty important level for us to break. If we can do that, I think this is starting to look really good. Market right back to lows. Meta not really affected so far. What else is going on here? Tesla is just still not doing a whole lot, guys. We're just kind of sitting in some chop on a lot of things here. So just going to play it slow. Going to let the market give us a trade or not. Simple as that. Nice, RB. I think these are good prices. I mean, leaps is one thing, but I think a short-term bounce is very, very doable. Even trading this through 475 doesn't look bad for like kind of an opening range break scalp looking thing. If the market decides to bounce, I mean, the market's still making lows and Meta's trying to hold up here. So we get one nice bounce in the market. This is definitely one of the strongest names. But not really looking to do that right now. Dang, RB, where's the call out? These are pretty far out of the money. So, I mean, theta might be a problem. So just consider that. But, we're about 25 bucks from 500. I think that's very doable in a day or two. See if Meta can make a new high here. Through 475, I think this thing could really start moving. Market's trying to bounce a little bit here off lows. Let's see if this gets some buying pressure here. These are gaining value, which is kind of interesting. Yeah, the contracts, the next week 500s are getting some decent volume here. The 485s for next week and today, or this week, are got some good volume too. So 485, that would be awesome. I think these meta swings could be $5 a contract there, and I may even just take profits up at 485 if we can get that pretty quickly. Tesla right back to 250, so that's still just chopping around, guys. Really nothing there for now. UNH coming back up to 570. SPY pushing here a bit. I want to see Meta really get going here. Am I breaking up a little bit? Maybe I can get my mic a little bit closer. August 16. Okay, that gives you plenty of time then. We do have earnings at the end of the month, so you're going to have to make a decision on if you want to hold that through earnings or if you want to get out beforehand. Market's starting to bounce here, so let's see if Meta can get some buying pressure here. It looks like it's starting to roll back over. I'd like to see a little bit more strength out of this. Volume is just low across the board. Not much going on here. FedEx moved pretty nicely though this morning, but again, we're still about $8 away from where I'd consider trading it. UNH, wow, this thing is starting to blast off again. Meta rolling. Going back into 470. I don't really want to be watching this on a 1-minute chart considering I'm in a swing. So might just move on from this pretty soon. Just kind of keep up with it. Again, back down in this 460 area. 465 I'd consider adding. But for now, I'm just going to stay away. What else is going on here? Apple 230. Tesla back to 250. Market continuing to sell off here. How many sell-off days are we going to get? So QQQ is definitely a lot weaker than SPY, which is interesting. You look at SPY here, we actually kind of made a move higher on the day. We're starting to roll back over here. Looking at QQQ, this has done nothing but sell off. So that means tech is weak still. Meta's trying to hold up here. We'll see what happens. Fed speakers, I didn't see many, but wouldn't be surprised. There's always someone talking. UNH still moving up. Where's IWM today? Still ripping. Yeah, pretty crazy. IWM is moving. Meta back 470. Contracts are at 3. Let's see what Tesla does here at 250. See if they're going to hold this up or sell it off. Aiden Q can't seem to find a green candle today. Meta looks like it's going to sell off here. What else is going on? Tesla. Pretty boring day so far. I mean, futures are selling off, but to me, a lot of these bigger names aren't doing much. I mean, NVIDIA, that thing's getting killed. If NVIDIA comes down in here like 115, I may buy some calls on that further out expiration as well. What is AVGO doing? Not really something I like to trade. That's way down as well after the split. That's just a kind of a typical trade there. Right after the split, you see a sell-off. Yeah, I don't know. To me, that's not something I want to be like buying calls on now. But I don't know. If NVIDIA can do it, Meta under 470 again. I mean, look at NQ, guys. This is crazy. We cannot find a bottom here. So, I mean, ideally somewhere in this range we could start to bounce. But man, pretty hardcore sell-off here. Might add to Meta just a little bit more. It's not really selling off as hard as you would think. I mean, you know, again, looking at NQ here, did nothing but just get murked. And you see what Meta's doing. Meta could fall. So I mean, again, you know, do what you want on that. You guys all know my trade idea, but you know, Meta is kind of just sitting right at lows. It's not continuing to sell off here. So any sort of bounce, I mean, look at that. You instantly get like $1.50 bounce there. Look at that 250 break on Tesla. Oh, that would have been awesome. So again, okay, so maybe we get this trade today. I'm going to be watching the 245 puts on Tesla. So I'm going to start loading those up. It doesn't mean that I'm in, but I'm loading up the 245 puts here for this week. So ideally, we can kind of come back in here, bounce, and then we can see some sort of bear flag into these lows. The only reason I like this is because, you know, 245.80 and then, you know, 246.20-ish is yesterday's low. So those lows through 245 could be pretty nice. Okay, so yesterday's low is 246.18. That'll probably be my first entry here around that area. So, you know, again, ideally we see some sort of bounce, some sort of bear flag that we could trade into these levels here. I wanted it to go a little bit lower than that. Meta really showing some strength here. We got one nice little bounce here on the market, and Meta just flew. That looks pretty good. That makes me think that I'm kind of thinking the right way here. There are more buyers here than sellers. Back to 350 a contract. Nice. Nice, RB. Yeah, Meta's really strong. So, Gio, that to me, that's good. That's what I want to see. So let's see what Tesla does here. Kind of want to see it like retest 250 and then kind of coming in, maybe playing these lows here. I don't want to get too greedy and look for like $2-3 on this, but again, very doable. Meta kind of at a downtrend for the day. Market finally starting to bounce here. Tesla back to 250. Meta right at its downtrend here. See if that breaks. I'll just pull that up so you guys can see it for anyone watching my screen here. I mean, not the prettiest thing in the world, but back above VWAP, kind of have a downtrend here. Again, through 475, I think this could really get moving here. Tesla kind of rejecting here off 250. I don't know that I want to be so super aggressive on this and play the lows, but I think that's maybe doable here. See if the market rolls over with this or not. You know, you could buy puts here and have a 250 stop loss looking for under 245. I think that would work out. See what this wants to do. Just this isn't a day where I want to be super fancy and get a bunch of starter positions and stuff like that. So I think I'd rather just take a small position here around the lows a day, look for this to kind of trickle down in here, maybe get another bounce and maybe add some more into this into Tesla here. The market is rolling over now and Tesla is pushing here. So let's see what it does at 250. Coming right back up into this level. See what this thing does here. Kind of rejecting off 250 again. Market's starting to make lows. So you'd want to see this roll over pretty soon, and it's not. See what this thing does here. Testing 250, kind of right at VWAP as well. Market's still rolling over. So Tesla's strong. So I don't know. Maybe we stay away from this. It is Thursday, so I don't want to be too crazy. Closed above 250 here. Market may have found a bottom. Back above VWAP here. All right, so I think maybe that Tesla trade's done for now, at least. Look at Tesla blasting off here. I'm not looking to play upside in here, guys. Remember, I want to play Tesla around like 258, 259. So until it gets up there, it can really do whatever it wants here. Meta's not really doing what I'd like to see here. Market is just now bouncing off this load. So let's see if Meta can pick up some steam. Apple sold off pretty hard. That's about it. But once again, we're seeing Tesla come into that 245-ish level and have some crazy buying pressure here. So far, pretty slow day. I'm green here on Meta. That's nice. I think there could be a lot of potential in that if we can get through 475 today, but let's see what happens. Market trying to roll back over here, come back in for lows. So now, to me, Tesla's not showing that weakness that I would like, right? That was a really big bounce. I mean, if this comes down pretty quick here, maybe the trade's still intact, but that was a pretty solid bounce there. 247 to like 252, right? $5 bounce in about 5 minutes. That's pretty strong. Meta here, 474. as markets coming in for lows too. So I love seeing that. And Meta pulls right back. Tesla's got some crazy strength, it looks like. Back under 250. I want to see what they do there. If they really slip it up and kind of rug pull that, or if they keep trying to fight to get it above. We're only about 20 minutes in here, so we still got some time for things to set up. Meta pulled back in 472. Wow, UNH going for another move here. Trying to get back up to yesterday's close. Let's go green on the day. Amazon still selling off here. Apple selling off. Meta had a pretty decent pullback, 471 now. Looking at Tesla, though, this thing is not weak. Tesla might go kind of crazy here up to 255. I mean, it doesn't seem like it wants to sell off here as the market's coming in for lows. So we'll see. Look what Apple just did. I don't know when the selling is going to stop, but sure isn't now. NVIDIA kind of retested 120 there, selling back off. To me, there's just not really that many like great trades that I would like to be involved in right now. I mean, I thought Tesla was maybe setting up there, and that ended up not working. Meta coming in for lows again here. Airbnb, I mean, not a crazy move here of $1.25. Yeah, I mean, just kind of a stagnant stock right now. We do have earnings on August the 6th, so maybe that'll be a time to watch it. But we kind of filled that whole gap and then sold right off, and now we're kind of coming back in. So not too exciting to me. Tesla seems like it came into that uptrend. Like the hourly chart, you guys can see it, not beautifully, but we're just kind of holding flat here. I think once we can break this downtrend at the top, things might get kind of crazy. But a breakthrough 245, I think, could really get this going to the downside. But again, I don't want to be trying to play the upside in here and getting stuffed. I'd rather let this get up in here and really start breaking out so I can catch the middle part of that move like I talk about, rather than trying to time it too early. Meta kind of struggling here again, just real choppy. No, J-Wag, I mean, I don't think so. I mean, I would say some of the best traders, in the world don't trade every day. They probably trade less than half of the month. Just saying, if there's like 20 trading days in a month, they may trade 5 or 8 of them, just because the market doesn't give you, doesn't give you perfect opportunities every day. So there's just not going to be trades like that every single day. If you go like 2 weeks with being at the desk and not taking trades, that's one thing. But taking 1-2 days here and there is not a problem. And I think that is what's going to make you a successful trader, is knowing when to not trade. kind of preserving your capital for good days is by far one of the most important things that you can learn to do. Just firing off trades left and right isn't going to end well. Yeah, 100% JWAG. I mean, that is I mean, you're perfectly right there. Trading isn't about being right or wrong or how many trades you take. It's about making money, just like everything is. Right. Nvidia back above 120. Starting to see a little bit of buying pressure coming to the market here. I would like to see Meta start moving. Looks like NQ may have found a short-term bottom here. Look at Tesla, though, man. I mean, this thing is every dip still getting bought. I mean, even after this, the robo-taxi delay, pretty crazy. After seeing this candle here, if we close up in here today after making that big of a move down, I think that this is probably days away from making a move higher. It looks like, but we'll see what Netflix does today. What else? What's that doing? Came right back in 650. $10 pullback. Meta rolling back over here. So, this is just a day where being cash is probably the best thing to do. I mean, I haven't taken a trade today. Kind of took a little piece of a Meta swing. That's about it. Was there some movements that you could have made money on? Yeah, maybe. I mean, Apple sold off pretty nicely. Amazon did. Nvidia did. But, level wise, I wouldn't have taken those trades. Tesla's going to blast off here. Look at this, guys. I mean, it's just waiting to get through this high day. Come on, Meta. I want to see this get through 475 today. That'll make me happy. Thoughts about SPY closing on Friday? I mean, SPY is going to close on Friday. I could say that. I don't know where. I mean, again, things of, I'm guessing you're wondering kind of like where I think it could go. I mean, we've had a pretty decent sell off. I mean, like really yesterday. I think that tech is definitely a lot weaker than the S&P 500. So like Nasdaq is much weaker than the S&P. So I mean, I could look at it two ways, right? I mean, pretty much you can kind of see we're coming into this demand zone here. Either we bounce out of this, or if we can break under 556, 555. I mean, there's a lot of room on this, right? I mean, look how far we're up in the air. Do I want to be a guy trying to buy puts on this, thinking that we're going to get a huge move down? I don't think so. But typically looking at the chart here, I mean, it's extremely strong. So, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised at all for this to just bounce again and go back to highs, right? Because that's just what's been happening. At one point, that's under 555, this could get a lot weaker. So I don't know. I never want to be the guy picking a top or bottom. And you could argue like, well, Ethan, you kind of picked a bottom today on Meta. To me, it's not so much trying to pick a bottom. It's Meta is down 80 points in a matter of like 10 days. Earnings are coming up. The overall market hasn't sold off this hard. There wasn't any real negative news on Meta. So it just kind of makes sense. I wasn't trying to be mean, but if working on a trading floor, if I came and said that to my bots, thoughts on SPY closing Friday, he would say the same thing to me. So don't take that personal. But yeah, I want you guys to. They put a lot of emphasis on at the trading firm on speaking the right way. If you come up to a senior trader and you say, I bought a little bit of meta here, they'll say, here is not a price. You buy at a price, you sell at a price. You don't say, I'm getting in. They don't know. They'll say, I don't know what getting in means. And I mean, they're very strict about it. I mean, even if you're just having a conversation, yeah, I bought a little meta. What does that mean? Nice, Chris. Making new highs. All good. I was just kind of messing with you. But so I mean, I'm serious about that though. I mean, they're very strict on the way that they talk, and if you don't talk the right way, then I've seen guys get yelled at for it in the middle of the office. Here is not a price. Meta coming into 52-week low. How about you give me a price? Chris, that's beautiful, man. Losses are smaller than your wins. But yeah, I mean, the rule of thumb is I don't know anything. I don't know what's going to happen within, in 5 minutes of time. I can give you an educated guess on what could happen, what I think might happen, but nobody knows anything. And once you start trading that way, you'll do a lot better. Besides having this ego on, well, Meta should do this and Tesla should do that, and I'm in this trade and it's the market's fault. It's not. Yeah, guys, been pretty slow. Tesla's looks like it's, wow, this is gonna start going right now. The second I look over at it. Looks like it could, but who knows? Apple starting to make a little bit of a bounce here. Starting to see a little bit of relief on some things that are weak. So can someone call the Meta headquarters and say, hey, figure it out? This was once, I think, one of the strongest things across the board, and now it's kind of mediocre. But there's also just no volume in it right now, so I can't expect anything significant. Starting to kind of break its downtrend here, though. RKT, let's take a look. What's Netflix doing earnings today? Netflix just came back in. It's just not really going to do anything. RKT, let me take a look at that. Yeah, really strong today. It must be some sort of news or something. I don't know. Just not a typical name that I trade, so I can't really give you anything worthwhile worth me talking about. So I don't want to. If you have a trade idea there, again, I don't want to sway you in either direction. But is this Rocket Mortgage or whatever it is? Wow, this actually looks kind of good. I mean, through this, like, if it can get through 1580 to slash like 16, maybe it gets going. But I'll look at Shopify. Yeah, I mean, I wanted to trade Shopify yesterday. Basically, let me go to a 4-hour chart here so you can see what I was looking at. We broke this kind of range that we were in, kind of through 68, and it opened up around 69, I think, yesterday. So I was looking for this to continue back through 70, and it just did nothing but sell right back off into the range. So I never ended up trading it. But back up here close to 70, I would like to trade it for a move higher. especially because we have this gap still. If you go on the daily chart here, you can see it. We still have room all the way up to about 77. So back through 70, I'd look for a couple points on that, maybe $1 or $2, and then just take it. It's raining here. Nice. Let's see here. Yeah, guys, been really nothing. Wow, UNH. Chris, what the heck? $578. What are my 560 calls at right now? No. Freaking 19. God, I bought those at $2.78 yesterday. And they're at freaking 19. Jeez, man. I don't care. I'll catch my little move and just move on. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of more money to be made, but who cares? It's not a stock you'll probably ever see me trading again. Whoever brought that out, it was a free member. So I don't know who it was. I forgot, but thanks for a couple $100. Tesla 253.5. Amazon's still selling off here. Prime Day is over. Hope you guys bought some stuff. Dang, Chris. So, kind of a boring day. UNH is just going to keep making highs. Any other questions or tickers you guys want me to cover? Bitcoin, yeah, I looked at that this morning. We finally gotten some sort of recovery on that. I mean, honestly, we're just kind of in the middle of the battleground here. It looks like from like 55 to 75. We're sitting right here at 65. So I mean, I don't know, Jay. You're the Bitcoin master. I would love to see this go higher. I think back up here in the all-time highs, it'd be a great trade. Maybe even something I would be consider trading. I just don't know. If you guys hear rain, I'm sorry. I just don't know. Big bounce here. I wouldn't be surprised. Maybe it came back into 61st and then went higher. So I don't know. PLTR, that's been a good one. Oh wow, we're still moving. We're coming up in that $30. Look at that, man. What a great move on that. What's the so we broke that high, yeah, or we're right at it. Let me go a couple more years back here. So yeah, I mean, this looks great. It's starting to rain hard. If I lose power or something, guys, just know if I just stop talking for a while. Anyways, yeah. So I mean, I think above 30. I mean, this may even have some sort of short squeeze in it. I don't really know. I don't know the short interest behind it or anything like that. But I don't think anyone's going to be wanting to short it. If it keeps making a move like this. So we'll see. I mean, it looks good, but yeah, I've kind of missed the move from 22 to 30. So like, I'm not super inclined to try to catch it. There we go, Chris. I would love that. I don't know. I mean, there's really nothing going on here. In Canadian, yeah. Got a packed house in here. I love it. Wish we could get some trades going on, but I think this is a day it's very easy to lose some money here. 4.99%. Okay, so that's not a whole lot, JWAG. That's not a whole lot. 5% of the outstanding shares is crazy. If it was like 25% or something, I'd be like, okay, there might be something here. But 5%, yeah. Thanks for that, though. That's good. UNH just won't pull back. Meta won't do anything. Tesla kind of coming up here. I mean, you can see where we are. You can see this orange line on my screen. We're coming back into this kind of resistance area here somewhat. So just keep that in mind. I don't really want to be trying to scalp Tesla here to the upside because there's going to be some selling pressure here. But again, back up near like 258, 259, 260. Yes, I'll be interested. Kenny Penny, yes, correct. I am. I am. I think I'll probably just stop out of it, like maybe like 460. Again, I'm looking to risk a big loss percentage wise on this position. So I just want to make that very clear to everyone. Like, don't go in really heavy. If you're used to going in with $300 or $500 a position, well, maybe this one isn't for you because they're about $300 right now, and I'm okay with losing over half of this. Right, I could lose 100%, and it's not gonna affect my day-to-day trading. However, I just think the risk to reward is good on this, so we'll see what happens. But again, if we can get through 475 today, I think that could probably get some momentum in this. Maybe have to get it up to 480. We got to close like that. I love it. And, do I think I'm going to hold this to 500? No. I think if I get a nice, 50, 100% gain on this swing, I'd take it. But I'm also looking to risk 50, 60, 70% on this. So please just size correctly. Don't come after me if if this ends up being a loser and you're mad. But I think with how much it's down, we got earnings in like 2 weeks, I think. Actually, while we're in Florida, I think is when they have earnings. So, stuff like that. Just a couple things lining up here. I'm swinging next week 500 calls. Again, out of the money, so the theta might be an issue. But I'm not looking to hold this for like 5-6 days. I'm looking to hold this for maybe like 2, maybe 3. Basically, just wanting to see a relief bounce out of this, 480, 485. Oh, you take it there. Yeah, I mean, Tesla doesn't look bad for a swing either, for sure. I mean, again, I think it's the way that it's acting the last few days. You're getting the dips to 45. I get bought up real quickly. I think this looks like a pretty decent setup for a move higher. But I'm just going to be the guy that's going to wait for that. And then maybe once we start breaking is when I can start a swing. I'd just rather be kind of late on this. I mean, we got a bunch of earnings coming up, so maybe things slow down, maybe things speed up. I really don't know what's going to happen. I always have to tell myself I can always just day trade it, right? Would have been nice to buy a little swing though around 245 on Tesla, start a position down there and catch 10 points. Now we're up at 255. Above 255 though. Starting to get going. What did PLTR do? God, it's still going, huh? Got a call debit spread. Nice. Okay. Max loss, max profit. To me, that looks pretty good. Tesla kind of hitting that trend line, right? And starting to pull back. I would love Bloomberg Terminal, but I don't want to pay $24,000 a year. I have not, but I actually may add some here. Contracts about 275, 280. I would just kind of like to see this make lows on the day to add, but I don't think this is a bad spot. This could kind of bring your price down, but don't just keep adding because it goes lower. That's just going to make you go in with more size than you expected. So I'm just going to let this kind of do its thing. If it comes down to like 467, I might buy some more there. But this is kind of a gamble here. It's not typically something that I do, but when I see good risk reward, I want to take it. But yeah, guys, pretty slow so far. Big sell off early, then just kind of a relief bounce on everything else. Later, Duco. Take care. Meta under 470 here. I hate seeing how weak this is. Looking at things like Tesla and Nvidia, even SPY, big bounces on this, but there's no volume there on Meta. It's just volume is under 50,000. I mean, that's just awful. We'll see if it picks up here. So this is kind of what I was looking for to maybe add down in here. I want to see how far this can go. NQ is starting to sell off a little bit here. But 250 a contract, that'd be pretty nice to kind of pull that average price in. But again, if you're adding, and you weren't planning to go in with this much, then that's the risk that you're willing to take. I added a little bit there. But I think this could go much lower. I don't know. It seems like kind of a dead day. It is up pretty nicely. Tesla and Meta percent wise are up the most. Tesla's made more moves after the open. Meta really hasn't. Amazon is just getting murdered here. SPY pulling back pretty hard here. NQ trying to come back in for lows. Meta kind of holding that 470 support, 470 to 469. If they end up breaking that hard, probably 465 is going to be that next stop. But my average price here is 310 now. Back above 470, like to see it. Tesla pulled in about $2, back to 253. UNH, guys, I mean, this is just crazy. Chris, I'm going to lose my mind. This is almost moved 20 points today. Not nearly as clean as yesterday's move, but still. Well, guys, we're about an hour in, and it seems like things are just going to continue to slow up. So I don't know. Maybe we call it. I mean, Amazon actually had a pretty decent sell-off today. It hasn't really stopped at all. But that's kind of an after Prime Day short, right? You buy it up into Prime Day, then when Prime Day is over, or even when it's kind of starting, you kind of get that sell-off. So I don't know. You guys got any last minute questions or tickers you want me to cover? Because I don't really see a point in watching this stuff. I'll monitor Meta. Again, I may add to it if it gets down to like 466, 465. I'll maybe just add like the last little piece of my position there, considering what I'm willing to risk. Other than that, no, I didn't take any trades. Cash day, other than starting that swing. But again, this is kind of what makes good traders good, is they know when not to trade, and nothing met my criteria today. Tesla started setting up and then ended up kind of not following through, so I didn't take that trade. And I'm just simply going to wait for around 260 on that to the upside. It looks like it's getting ready to start breaking out again. So, yeah. Can you look at PanW for long term? Yeah, sure thing. PanW 370 call August 16. Looks like we still have more of a gap in here to fill. I mean, if you're looking to buy it now, I don't know if you're in it. Later, Chris. Great job. You know, I would say like all this is fine. I think under 320, I'd start getting a little worried. Later, this is kind of where I'd want to see it bounce, mate. Nor I think you can kind of see why. We're just kind of coming back into this little zone here. So, yeah, I mean, I think once again, you're risking. I would say under 320, you stop out of it, and then maybe this could get some momentum here coming up into earnings, which are on the 15th. So, I think that's pretty decent. I mean, isn't this in the same like snowflakes down here? I don't think CrowdStrike's the same thing, but wow, crowd really came in. ARM. Nice, guys. Cool. Yeah, I mean, I think this is a pretty good entry right here for sure. Tesla coming back up into 255. Meta back under 470. Cool. I would like to see his thoughts on that, like why he's doing that. But Tesla going back up in here for highs. Tesla through 255. I really don't want to see 260 happen late afternoon, but maybe it does. Maybe it does. What else here? Tesla kind of rejecting there. Yeah, guys, I just think it's best to kind of just get out of here. I don't want you guys waiting around for a trade and then one doesn't come and then you're an hour and a half into the day and then you try to force a trade. So I think I'm going to wrap up shop here. Again, we'll add to Meta if it gets 466, 465. Other than that, I'm just going to stay away from everything else. So if there's any last minute questions, shoot. If not, then y'all have a good day. I'll see you guys tonight for the premium day trading coaches stream thing. Thanks, Kenny. Thanks, Mate Nor. You're welcome. Yeah, thank you guys for being here. I love seeing a bunch of people in here today. Thank you. All right, guys, take care. Later.